welcome back to Absolute Nearl, the series about Art Knights operators who are all about that cinema, and today we're not doing one of those. That's right, we return to the world of audience picked operators with Viviana, an operator I really like, and I'm glad I have the opportunity to talk about her here. Viviana was one of the first 6 stars I acquired in the first month of playing, and I liked her enough to build her before her module was announced because, well, she's pretty much Serta for non-meta enjoyers. She's a boss killer in an archetype that has one of the strongest and most popular boss killers, and it takes balls to take on that challenge. I also love the feel of her skills, and her module made her my preferred pairing with my Ifrit, and it's for those two reasons why I'm excited to do this video. So, enough mouth flapping. Let's talk about this fine slice of deer that's about to burn the roof of my mouth with all this burn damage. I'm not going to waste any time discussing what Art Fighter is because I'm pretty sure we all know what they are. Because, we all have used Serta, so I'm just going to jump straight to her talents. I'm going to group her two talents all together because they kind of just serve the same purpose. Help her be specialized into elite slash boss killing. Candlelight lets Viviana deal 8% extra damage and takes 8% less damage, doubling these values to 16% if an elite or boss is in an attack range. Nova, on the other hand, gives her an 18% chance to gain a special shield that only blocks melee attacks when attacking a elite slash boss enemy. Yes, you can say it, these are mid and kind of situational. Like, first things first, why is it a chance to gain this special shield, and why is it so low? Like, the chance of getting it makes it more balanced, I guess, because, shields are kind of obscene. But 18% is shockingly low. Like, not even the pop version makes it any better with its 20%. Maybe if it was 30%, it would be better, but nope. I know why it's so low. Skill 3 has a talent multiplier for the second talent, so whoops, we haven't learned our lesson from instructors after all. That's a joke, by the way, because there's another reason why these multipliers are so low, which we'll get into soon. Counterlight, on the other hand, is alright, not insanely impactful, like we have learned to expect from boss killers these days, but, well, it served to be a good foundation for a module to build upon at least. Like, 16% more damage isn't impactful, but it's something, especially once we include her delta. Her delta doesn't increase these modifiers, but it does add 9% additional damage in the form of burn that doubles to 18% when an elite or boss is in range. Not sure how elemental damage, like, specifically, well, how to calculate it. So I'm just, well, there's going to be no math calculations for burn related damage specifically for this and any of the skills, but I will tell you this. This module is mandatory for Viviana. It takes her from an okay pick to a boss killer with her own carved out niche in the burn squad. Well, how it gives her just like an honored spot among such superstars like Warmy, Bobbing, you, Ifrit, and Blaze Altar. Okay, maybe not those last two, but you get to the point. You get the point, right? It's a great module and worth the resources if you're a fan of the deer. Blade of Fleeting Shadows is our S1, and it's an AFK skill, so put me to sleep already. It's not bad, but I don't think it's one of the more interesting skills or AFK skills on offer. Basically, the attack is increased for the next attack she does, and she hits twice. It's just very generic crit skill stuff. What makes it a little more spicy is the fact that it can be overcharged to hit twice and adds 2 extra tiles of range for that attack. What I want you to take note here before we talk about her damage numbers is the attack hit increase. All her skills makes her into an arts version of a Blade Master, and it explains why her talent chances and numbers are so low. You effectively have to double, or in this case of the skill, triple, uh, each value on top of what we're already doubling. Well, this is what helped Viviana stand out from the Art Fighter card before a module, and hers one is just that idea but simplified. Her S2 and S3 gives her, well, us actual reasons to use her, so I don't view her S1 favorably, especially when you look at the masteries, like going from skill level 7 to M3, there's only like a 30% increase in damage, which is a lot considering the double and the triple hits the skill can do, meaning there's an actual increase of like 60% to 90%. depending if you charge it, but the next two skills can do that with extra stuff attached. On top of that, it reaches its lowest charge time of 4 SP at skill level 7, meaning the mastery is just to inflate the damage on a mid AFK skill. Also, it's auto-charge, so you have to be waiting 8 seconds for the charge effect each time. The only value I see in it, if you want to put Viviana to sit behind a tank who's tanking the boss and only attacking the boss every 8 seconds. Theirs too is shadowed by candlelight, and I have mixed feelings on this one. I love what it is, but I also can't help but feel like it's impractical when put in comparison with other alternatives. Basically, she becomes a crusher by gaining a block and buffing her attack and defense and hitting enemies up to her block count. Basically, taking notes from Astria. Where we deviate from Asher is the fact that each attack has a chance of doubling up the hit and stealing attack speed, which lasts until either Viviana retreats or the skill expires. It's a neat skill, but what makes me dislike it is just like Astria, why would I use a temporary Centurion when I can just use an actual Centurion? Sure, they do arts damage now, but I can use a splash caster or a chain caster if I wanted to hit multiple enemies at once with arts damage. And if they need to be a blocker, well, Vina S2 exists, although it's not like I even use her. Sure, these options may not be geared for boss killing like Viviana, but if I'm using Viviana, I'm probably using SV regardless. I actually think it's overkill considering the attack speed still, which means you can get that burn burst faster with some luck, but apart from that, it's a good skill in some cases. Actually, think about it, there is a niche use in a boss situation, and if that boss has a very slow rate of attack, because now you can just slow them down even more if need be. Maybe even against a high attack speed boss, just in an attempt to hinder them. I think it's a bit of a silly idea, but it's a use case, I guess. Still doesn't hold a candle to SV, in my opinion, though. Flicker is the real reason to use Viviana, and this SV is the real reason why her mod V is essential. She does increase her own attack intervals, but the payoff is, increased res, defense, and attack stats. The ability to hit twice guaranteed, and a second talent chance modifier of 2x at skill level 7. Also, on second cast onwards, gives you 2 extra tiles of range and increases the uptime from 15 seconds to 25 seconds. Some aspects of the skill is overkill in my opinion, like the bonus res stat and the extra tiles of range, especially that second one because it feels niche in application and clunky if you actually try to force it. Also, double hitting plus a talent chance modifier for Nova is a little overkill, especially at MV where the multiplier is 2.5x, which might as well say guaranteed procs of the second talent. And that's huge. Being able to guarantee an attack frequently is great, and honestly my favorite way to give a boss killer a way to tank bosses. Yes, it's not as cool or as reliable as Soda SV, but I would argue the shield is a more friendly alternative as she doesn't die when the skill ends. Although we got workarounds for that thanks to Zuge Alter now, but that workaround also applies to Viviana as well, so I think the only way to sell which one would be better would be with a math solve, so let's not do that. I'm a writer, not a mathematician for Nian's sake. If I'm gonna make this, I guess, my topic, I'm gonna use my words, goddammit, and I'm especially gonna put it in the conclusion, because then it's more climatic that way. Making Viviana an arts fighter has always been an interesting choice in my perspective. By making her a 6-star arts fighter, you kind of put her in direct competition with one of the most popular boss killing options in the game, and before her module, she couldn't even compete against Serta's value in my eyes for most people, but I'm not most people. I'm someone people may consider to be a anti-meta slave due to my love for niche knights and interesting operators, although I don't agree with that statement because have you seen my account? I have meta operators built for, reasons, but it's mainly because they do things I like. My love for Viviana comes from a different angle though. I just like her more than Serta. It's like as simple as that. I actually disagree with what I said at the start by saying Viviana is Serta for non-meta droids because that's wrong. Hell, that thumbnail I made is wrong as well because, well, she never fell off to begin with. It's more accurate to say that Viviana is Serta for people with, well, different strokes. Both do the same job and achieve the same result, just in different ways. Soda prioritizes huge, heavy damage rapidly, while Viviana provides consistent, sustained damage. Soda tanks the boss through an immunity talent and an increased health pool, while Viviana holds down the fort through consistent shield application thanks to her talent and skill design. Soda ignores Vez to amp her damage, while Viviana does extra arts damage while building up a Vez shred through burn. I actually think Viviana is fine before her module 2 because she served the role of a arts fighting boss killer. Well, fine enough. It's just she was ironically stuck in the shadow of her predecessor, and it's only after they gave her a more dedicated niche to work with within Burn that amped her damage even higher, especially because, Burn has the Vez Shred. People was like, yeah, she's good now. Me, on the other hand, I was one of the few who liked her before her Delta made her more popular because I liked her consistency. She doesn't need an entire squad to ambulance her or gimmicks like Zoo Alters SV to min-max her potential. She just did her job quietly without much extra support. Honestly, my favorite part of the module is the fact that I can now pair with Ifrit, who I also love using. You haven't, lived until you've seen Ifrit SV with Viviana SV, to be honest. But yeah, that's my hot take. Viviana was a fine pick, and I think if you're a player who doesn't have Soda and don't want to always be borrowing one, Viviana is a fine investment. Her mod fee helps greatly, but without it, she forms well enough. And I'm glad I had the opportunity to talk about this wonderful deer of an operator.